Hello everybody, my name is Nick. Welcome to Nick video tutorials. Today we will discuss a little bit about Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps is a platform, okay, because Azure DevOps engineers are that kind of software engineers who work as DevOps, as operations with pipelines and what's their infrastructure for Azure, so for cloud, and so on. In our case, because all the time I discuss about .NET as a technology or Azure as cloud, in this case, it's Azure DevOps. It's a platform. It's a website. A platform basically is a website. It's a web application who can be used remotely. I mean, access it through the internet, right? And there you can have a lot of functions, a lot of features, a lot of let's say tools, okay, to make you to be faster and much accurate. Okay, so in this case, Azure DevOps is a platform focused on software developers, DevOps engineers, testers, and managers. You will see also software developers must know a little bit of DevOps. In general, DevOps is managed by DevOps engineers, CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment. Please don't do the mistake to say continuous development. It's continuous deployment, because DevOps engineers don't develop software. They pack, they check the pack, they do the support, in cloud as an infrastructure for developers and so on. If you want a DevOps engineer, it's an ex-system engineer when cloud doesn't exist, okay, or network engineer. With more other things, more other features, to say like that, okay. But a DevOps engineer, it's the kind of engineer who do the system for you, create everything what's necessary in the cloud for a software developer, create the pipelines and all these necessary, create for testers things, or help them in pipelines, because also if you check here, testers can use this platform, DevOps platform. By the way, Azure DevOps is free. You can enter, you can log in, and you can use it. Even if you are a manager, you can do that. Why is good this Azure DevOps platform for managers? Because you have methods of working. Agile, Scrum in Agile. Because Scrum is part of Agile. You will see there will be Agile and Scrum. It's not different, because people were scared and said, "Whoa, Nick, it's Agile and Scrum, so Scrum is not Agile." No, Scrum is part of Agile methodologies, but it's dedicated as a Scrum, and Agile can be Kanban or Lean for others. Because Americans, for example, use a lot of Kanban. They don't use Scrum like Europeans. It's not a big difference. 80% of the Scrum is Kanban, or 80% of Kanban is Scrum. It's very, very similar. Lean is another part of another way to do agile methodologies. So basically, for monitoring and to manage the project, is necessary to have a manager. That manager must have tools, proper tools or something, to see, to check, to monitor, to create, to discuss with people, to see what's going on, to see if it's milestones correct or what's correct, if tasks are okay, if need to have something else, if some bugs appeared, and so on. Also, bugs are related with testers, because testers detect what's going on if it's something wrong, to say like that, in the software after they tested the software on this platform. And after that, if something wrong appeared, as an error to say, or I don't know, some omission, in this case the testers will create automatically a bug, to be fixed, that problem. Managers must know about that to manage to put everything in order, and of course software developers must know, because testers discover that. So that's why it's for all. Basically, you can use this platform for free. You just need to have a Microsoft account and go there and use it for free. It's not a big deal. Okay, so in this case, I think till 5 developers. I mean, a small team. You know, after that you need to pay something for every developer, but it's not a lot. So in this case, I discussed for students, for entry levels softwares, okay, developers. I discuss now for I try to present for people who don't know too much in IT, so they want to learn. So that's why I will show you what's going on with all this. This is the Azure DevOps. Basically, you just do devops.azure.com and that's it. You enter. You need to log in, and after that, start with them. You have organizations and also have to create. Basically, first step is to create a project, correct? A project is a video tutorial test project. In my case now, you put the real name of the project you want to have it. A small description of the project. Basically, this can be done by managers, but also can be done by software architects or by software developers if it's necessary. You have a senior software developer, you can put that senior software developer to deal with that for you, because that's why it's senior to know, and so on. Okay, a description, put some description. It's just a simple test project. Put something like that. Okay, can be public, I mean everybody can see it, or can be private only for you. If it's public, it's equivalent of open source, because everybody can see what's going on in your project, and there basically everybody can detect what's going on. If it's private, in general, companies don't want to have a public project, you know, when they have a customer and they need to create a solution for that customer, they will not put the solution on public, they will put it on private. Okay, also you can discuss here, we can discuss in other video tutorials here about type of cloud, public cloud and private cloud, but it's totally other things, you know. Version control, because here if you check you will see version control. If you work in a team, you know, into a team as a software developer, you with testers, so it's a team, you know, you have a team, let's say 4 developers and 1 tester. Perfect. All need to work together. For that, it's version control. Exist types of version control. An older one was and centralized one with numbering version control is Team Foundation version control, or Team Foundation server in the past, you know. The newest one is Git. This is not centralized, is other type of version control, but a lot of people, a lot of companies use it already. Okay, what we have also, we have work item process, to know in what kind of work process we go. We can go waterfalls, we can go agile, we can go, depends, you know, what you want. Waterfalls is classical work process, meaning starting with first step, I mean take the requirements from the client, after that go everything, go the architecture, go to make the production for the software testing, and after that at the end of the client. But in case something appear, you need to take from zero, from step 1. So agile is focused on customer. Every time it's doing something and need to have a green line, customer can be as a stakeholder and so on, or internally as a manager, or other type of level of management, higher level of management can be there in the project, you know, as a stakeholder, or even if it's necessary as a team leader, can be a software developer with a level of team leadership. Okay, so what we have here, we have agile, basic, CMMI, and Scrum. People was worried here about this. Agile and Scrum. Agile, it's everything what is not Scrum, everything but Scrum. And Scrum is dedicated, focused for Scrum. Basically, how will be create the structure and the tools used, we will see after. okay, for what you want to use, what type of agile methodologies you want to use. Here basically you can have a Kanban or something like that. Here you have directly Scrum. Okay, what you need after that, create a project. Basically now the project is creating using automatic scaffolding from and based on templates. Okay, because someone says using templates will be create a project. No, it's scaffolding who use based on templates. Templates is just a template, a form who be take it and use it with scaffolding to create something automatically, very quick, and the structure to be complete. Okay, so here we have the project. Wow, what we have here? We have like this, an overview. Here we will have a lot of, it's like a dashboard, okay? And here on this overview, it's the general dashboard, to say like that. You can add a lot of things about what's going on with your project and so on, okay? Here you have after that a summary, basically an overview. You have summary, dashboards, and wiki. What we have here in summary, basically you will see a summary of information about your project. A lot of people, in general, people use dashboards, okay, and can add widgets. I will show you in just a couple of minutes how to add a widget and why a widget is good. Wiki, you know, every project actually must have wiki section. Wiki is for information for internally for your team, for your developers, for your testers. In wiki you put how to create a class for entry-level developers, how to inherit a class, and stuff like that, applied on your project, not in general, not to discuss in general. What's necessary for your project and a senior developer detect is necessary, others who are not seniors, like middle level or entry level developers, need to know, must be created in wiki section as a documentation, to say like that. Okay, boards, we have boards with what's going on for working, you know, methodologies of working. Basically we have boards for what? For Scrum. It's dedicated for Scrum. Can you see we have new, approved, committed, and done is on Scrum. What we have sprints, because every Scrum has sprints. If you want to know more about Scrum methodology, you can go on other video tutorial of mine where it's dedicated for Scrum, for agile methodologies. Okay, there you can learn a lot of things about what's going on with Scrum, what is good, and how to work with tasks. Okay, queries, in case of you something there. Repos, actually here we started already for DevOps engineers. Repos, and also for software developers. Repos, basically it's Git. You know, we have repos, Git have repos, so as a version control, you know. So we have files, we have commits, what's going on for version control. Okay, it's also good for software developers, but it's also good for DevOps engineers. Why? Because they can see what's going on there and to know what to do to support, to do in cloud after that. Okay, so basically all this is Git. Okay, after that we have pipelines. Here developers can stop to watch. Okay, because okay, it's good to see also, but basically this is dedicated for DevOps in general, you know, DevOps engineers. DevOps engineers can know to create a pipeline, to manage a pipeline, and so on. An environment, exists types of environments, releases, because package must be release 1, release 2 version, major, minor, and so on. Libraries put it, task groups of tasks, what's going on, what they need to do. Between all this is related, basically, you know, and deployment groups. In groups, types of deployment, because here it's CI/CD in this section, pipeline, basically CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment. And after that, we will have a test plan for testers, because as a tester, you need to have a test plan, test case, and action steps based on ISTQB. I mean, that international quality in testing. You need best practices in testing, to say like that. Okay, you need to have this test plan. You need to have a test plan, like a business plan. A businessman need to have a business plan to know what to do. That's a test plan. And inside of the test plan, you need to have test cases. It's a case, like tasks, like group of tasks, to say like that. What's going on, like modules. I will test the interface. I will test that. I will test the database. I will test, and so on. Security testing or integration testing, or it's a lot of types of testing in ISTQB. If you want, we will discuss you can see another video tutorial of mine about ISTQB and testing. Okay, so basically we have test plans, we have progress report, because you need to see if you have already something, what's going on. Runs to run automatically, in the past. People probably know, probably not. They don't, I don't know, but I will tell you anyway. Okay, in the past was continued integration. Okay, basically we have a server who did tests in the night. That's why the title, is night build. In the night, in the middle of the night. Why night? Because if all the tests will be done in the middle of the day, people work. So the server can't do all tests, 40,000, 50,000, 100,000 tests based on your project, in the middle of the day. People work. Everything is changed. It's dynamically there. In the middle of the night, basically nobody work. Correct? In general, in normal way. So in this case, people is not there. People don't change data. Because nobody changed data, the server for testing have enough time to do all tests necessary. 10,000 tests, I don't know, 10,000 tests, 40,000 tests, depends what's necessary. Okay, and then it's a report, so that's a night build. Okay, here we have runs to see the compilation, see what's going on, and so on. Load test, the type of test, and so on. Basically, this is for testers. Okay. Also, it's good software developers to know in general what's going on here, and also DevOps engineers is good to know, because they need here in pipelines to create pipelines for testing for testers. So in this case, it's good to understand and to work together with the testers about it. Okay, and artifacts in case of you want more complex, to be more complex and want to have a lot of things. Okay. Other things. So let's do, for example, here in dashboards, a widget. Add a widget, and we have types of widgets. For example, build history. You will see a history of buildings, how many builds was done, how many builds are okay, how many builds are not okay, and so on, with errors and so on. Burn down or burn up, if you put a burn down, look, let's put a burn down, drag and drop. A burn down, basically, when you start a sprint, it's 100%. When you finish a sprint, must be 0%. And it's an ideal line, and you need to be very, very close to that line in all the time when you develop software in that sprint. Okay, this is agile methodology, basically. Okay, it's good for managers also. Also, software developers need to know that, because everybody must check it. Cumulative flow diagram, how many flows have here, and so on. So in this case, when we done editing, we have this. We didn't start a project to check what's going on here. We didn't. To start a project, we need to put something in Repos. Like take this, go in Visual Studio. I will show you also in Visual Studio. You can have a relation and a connection to all all what's going on here. Okay, look what's going on. We have in overview, in dashboards, we have widgets. I said, okay, good. Also, we have in summary now, okay, because in summary you can see the number of members. In my case, it's just me now, but in the future will be a lot of other members. You know, in real time. I mean, when someone really do a job there, a software. Probably here it's 4, 5, 8 developers. Also, we can go directly to boards, repos, pipelines. I mean, not to stay here, just direct. Okay, and some project stats. I mean, statistics. You know, for the project. What's going on with the project in specified moment. Dashboards, and we have this. Look, now is refreshed and burn down is 0 because we didn't start a project. We don't have basically started a project. Video tutorial, test project, team backlog items is 0 because we didn't create nothing. To create, we need to go in boards to do work items, boards, backlogs, sprints, and tasks. And wow, I will show you. Okay, but till then, we need to go to Wiki section when we can create a wiki project. A wiki project is very easy to create. Just click on create wiki project, and here have test wiki. Test wiki here. Okay, in the title, put some description and what you want. Okay, and in this case, you can have with links and everything. You can save it and so on. Okay. So in this case, we have first wiki, and people from the same team or can be from other teams can add comments. Nice project. Okay, add nice project, and now if was into a team with 8 developers, all 8 can see can be noticed. Someone put a comment. Okay. And they will see, oh, nice project as a comment. So this is good for the projects inside of a team. Now we go to agile methodologies. Basically, this is for managers who know agile methodologies. So in this case, we can see here what's going on with boards. Okay, we have boards, work items, backlogs, sprints, and so on. But at first we start with work items. We can add type of work item. In case of you know already agile methodology, you know exist epic, bug, feature. It's a trick, you know. Every time a software developer will say, yeah, every bug it's a new feature. Yeah, that's like a good joke, right? So in this case, we have here product backlogs, tasks, and so on. Basically, we can go also on backlogs first to add a backlog. Okay, set test 1. Out on the top can be on the bottom after that test 2, another backlog. Basically, this is for interface, the other one is for something else, you know, business layer and so on, you know, another backlog for databases or whatever, testing and so on, you know. Depends what's going on into a project. This is the management part, you know. Let's say test 3. Okay, this is test 3 and it's added. We have 3 backlogs. Basically, now we can add directly here something if you want as a task. But I don't want to add it here. I want to go to work items. Now we can see all tests as a backlogs. It's unsigned, can be signed to a manager, you know. But because it's just me, I can't be also manager, also developer, also wow, you know. We can go in boards. Basically now we have everything here created, you know. So if we go in backlogs. For example, in this backlog text one, we can see details about backlogs, unsigned, less signed to me. Okay, what type of backlog is new, approved, committed? That's agile methodology. Description, and so on. Basically, I will not stay too much about agile methodologies. I will stay to present functionalities of this platform. Okay, so we have this. We can go back in boards, and here or sprints. For example, in sprints we have the backlog, and in every backlog we need to do something. Okay, so we need to create a task. Okay, let's create something like I don't know, let's create something like test for me. Okay, if you check, you can go directly click and see test for me as details of this. It's to do. I mean, it's not started it's not started for the moment. Description and discussion with others if it's necessary after that, and so on. You know, you can put a lot of things here. You can relate with another work. We can add if you want. Here, basically, it's good team leaders to add here some documentation about what's going on. You know, for the software developer. I saw in general team leaders or software architects don't put a lot of documentation for developers. They will let developers to deal with what's going on there. The requirements are to be okay, to be good, to be clear, to be nice, to be by best practices, and that's it. But for that results, you need to have some input data as a good documentation. Create a documentation if you are a software developer, senior, or if you are a software architect, team leader, or manager. Create a good documentation for that specified task, what the software developer need to produce for you, and also what are the points to be checked for that task to be a good task. Okay, so we have a task. It's easy to use tasks here and to work with tasks. It's very easy. It's just take the task, drag and drop, and put in progress. Now the task is started, is in progress. I mean, every time when you start something, a task, you need to start work for that task. When you finish, just put the task in done, and it's done. It's finished. This is for agile methodologies. Okay. Also queries in case of you have tasks and shared tasks and so on. Okay. Repos, here we have files. You can clone and go in VS Code directly. You can have directly to import. Basically, in Visual Studio, if you create, let's create a project ASP.NET, and in Visual Studio you will see something ASP.NET core application. Okay, let's say like this. Let's say put it here. Okay, let's do this. It's very short. It's nothing to be created as a application. Just short thing, you know, just to have something, some data. I'm not focused to create a full integrated solution now. It's just to have some data. Okay, and here, if you can see, we have also Git changes, Server Explorer, and a lot of others. But we have also here in the menu, okay, we have Git, project, builds, architecture, test, analysis, and so on. Basically, to work with your Git version, to work with what you have. And basically here in Visual Studio, a software developer needs to link the software project, link the software to to his Visual Studio. Basically, when work have repositories, and after that just to put data on master in general is the name, in Git. I mean, to send data to server there. Okay. We have here tabs for this, so basically you can see it here with everything what is necessary. Use this. It's very easy to understand all this part. Basically, we have Git here, clone repository. We clone a repository. We take the repository from. You see the location of repository. Basically, we take the repository for cloning, copy, and go in here and put it cloned, and let's clone directly there. Says okay with this project, blah blah blah, and clone. And now we take everything what was there. It's basically nothing because I don't have a lot of things, but because of that, okay, I need to log in for this and so on. Basically, you need to clone your repository to have a software on your local system in your Visual Studio. Okay, good. Now back to platform. Here you have files, you have commits. Basically, you can see the commits. If someone commit something, I mean, sent data to general repository, master repository, to say like that. Okay. In that moment, they need to put some commits, some comments to the commit. Because that's a commit. They need to put I did this task was to fix a bug, and you can see what was, or I did also the module for security, or something like that in the project. So I did login, I created login or stuff like that. You can see what's going on with date, time, everything, details, comments in comments, everything. Okay. So here, number of pushes and what was there, how they pushed in the system online. Branches in Git, you can have branches. I mean, general branch, master, and other branches if you want to take it and work only for you for work number 1, or also that can have a branch, or another branch from master to work number 2. Not to kill the master in case of something is wrong here. You can have a branch. For example, I have the general project and I want to have work number 1 as a construction of the project, and I construct everything. After that, I put everything in the master. Okay. Tags, pull request. Every time when you do a pull, you need to have a request, and there who's the team leader or software architect or project manager need to see that and to accept it. Here it's another section, pipelines for DevOps. They can create a pipeline, they can create an environment. To create a pipeline is very easy. Just create a pipeline. Choose what kind of pipeline you want. For example, where is the code, because you need to have a pipeline. Azure, Repos, Git in this case, or other Git, or what's going on. You can have a Bitbucket cloud if you want, or directly in GitHub, and because this Git here, it's Azure Repos Git. It's not in GitHub. It's type Git. It's type of versioning as Git, but it's in Azure. Okay. So Azure Repos Git, we have here video tutorials project, blah blah blah. In my case, I can't create nothing because I don't have nothing. But from here, just follow the steps. Next, check. That's why need a DevOps Engineer. Okay, they need to know what to configure there, and that's it. You as a DevOps engineer, you can create an environment if you want, or releases. It's standard DevOps work. I mean, it's nothing weird or something else, or no, it's the same. It's release. To create a release, you do a pipeline for a release, basically. Till then, in repos and what's going on, developers have other methods to debug and test testers also. here when it's a release, it's done. It's released. It's for customer, or what some DevOps said, it's live. It's done. Okay? Libraries, task groups, it's dedicated for DevOps. Okay? Just import one or have one from what was in the past, and so on. Okay? We can have task plans for testers. It's another section. Task plan, it's that kind of plan who let you to have all functionalities of a test. A task plan can be created here, and the testers can import it from Microsoft Test. Okay, it's an application dedicated for testers, and they can use if they have old software or all type of software. Also desktop, exactly like software developers have Visual Studio. Testers have other type of desktop application dedicated for testing. It can be there, and it can be linked here, exactly like Visual Studio, to be linked to DevOps or DevOps platform, or you can use it directly here on web, in web application. Okay, it's the same thing exactly like in DevOps case, in DevOps Engineer's case. You create test plan, have the progress report. It's the same thing. I mean, if you are a tester and you know what to do as a tester, you have it here. It's nothing else. Okay, and artifacts if it's something else better, bigger, and more complex. This is it. I think it's enough for today, because in case of it's too much information, after that people start to forget information, and I prefer people to remain with some information from all what I said and I presented here. So in this case, this is my presentation for today. I hope you like it. I hope you will put a like there, or you will be one member of my group, or you can send me questions or comments. You can place comments there asking me more information, or put other information there for me, and so on. Thank you very much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everything was quite okay for today to understand what's going on with Azure DevOps for software developers, for DevOps engineers, for testers, and for managers. My name is Nick. Till next time. Bye bye.